And a lot of them need to understand too that this was the Old Testament. Everything in the Old Testament was rugged, very rugged. It's not the way he is nowadays. God used to kill people, in those days. So the things that was done in the Old Testament, a lot of you cannot do it. It's very hard. I've seen people say things, and whenever I go back and read the Old Testament, I begin to think to myself like, you guys cannot do these things. You're all blushing and talking these things, and the consequences of what's going to happen later on is going to be very it's going to be very bashing. It's very going to be very weird. So we are talking about this is the Solomon was Old Testament. Solomon is Solomon. You are a different person. Solomon was rich. We don't know about you. We don't know about your father, if he was rich enough to have a lot of wives. And I don't feel like Solomon at his time would have oppressed women the way Africans, Nigerians did in their olden days. But they need to understand that the new generation will not accept this retarded mentality. They will not accept it. It is called oppression. And people like edochie need to understand that this is not Nollywood movies. I feel that's why they are set back, because of this poor mentality of men being the head of the family, which is ridiculous. I don't see any need for arguments about that. I really don't see it. Because he came from a country where poverty is stricken. So the women are actually at home, so which makes them feel that they are the head of the house. But if in the olden days, basically, so if now women are working, basically there are lots of women are working in Nigeria a few years, they will not like to see being oppressed by anyone. So I feel this is the most retarded mentality that anyone will ever want to listen to. I don't feel this is good for the new generation that's coming up to really listen to. I've actually sink into what he's saying is that it's like he's trying to put men on top of women. That is what I feel he's really coming into. All his words are like men can do whatever they want, and why women should accept that nonsense. And I feel that is the most oppression I've ever seen. He feels that marrying a 15 years old girl is not in us. This is a new society we live in. You don't expect 15-year-old girl should be getting married to 40 years old girl. I mean, in this day, it would not going to happen. Someone said, he said she was shy, and someone was on Twitter saying she was not shy, that she was being oppressed. She feel like she was gonna get killed. So even the things that Solomon did in his time, you guys cannot even do it. You can't do it. It's hard to really do it. And I don't really, Solomon would not have killed. Solomon would not have oppressed women, going by how Solomon loved women. He loved a lot. He had a lot of women. So going by how he loves women and killed his own brother for a woman, I don't feel that he's gonna be an oppressor.
And my uncle went off to a neighboring village. Said, look, Onyekudi wants to get married. And the women came out. And he just looked around and said, you, dear, you are going to be this man's wife. And that's it. And they brought this 15-year-old girl home. She didn't have the courage to look at my... No. She couldn't look my father in the face. She was all the time bending down. Yeah. She was crouching. She was shy and all that. She remained shy. And they gave him 10 children. She was still shy. 7 boys. 3 girls. He was still shy. And my mother was telling me, she said, look.
You know how retarded this thing sounds? Put a condom in your husband's bag so that he can have your best interest at heart. As in, so that he can feel like, that he's sleeping out. That's what Peter Doche is trying to influence the new generation about. It's not influence, he's not telling the new generation about how they can make their business more better. They can create a foundation for their children to come to make Nigeria a better place. To a business idea, creative idea, technical idea, technology, and all these things. No, it's about the most ridiculous, dumbfounded mentality I've ever heard. One of things I've ever heard is put a condom in your husband's bag if you think he's sleeping outside. I mean, what the hell? like really is that what Nigerians really, is that what you're teaching your people in Nigeria? Is that what you're telling them? Is that the most nonsense thing you're telling them? I don't think people should be listening to this one of these things. I don't think people should listen to this type of videos because they kind of delude you to feel like committing adultery is a good sin. In his meaning is that men can commit adultery while women cannot, because he in this video, even in his previous video, he always put men to the standpoint where he was like, okay, men can cheat, women must accept it, which is basically oppression. So when a woman cheats, it is more like you can't, I can. There's more of a hypocrite, basically. And so I feel people should not be listening to this man. Nah, this is not the way for Nigeria to be successful. This is not important. Not to me at all. I don't know about anyone else. I feel like the reason I don't feel is important because I feel whatever he's bringing to the table make no sense. Coming by, according to the world standard now, the way the new generation is coming up, because the new generation are not hypocritical about it. In his generation, they were more hypocritical about it. They were more oppressing the women. They put themselves first, and they should, I feel everyone, a woman and a man should actually be the same. I don't feel why the oppression should be there. So there is no reason. He comes from an oppression generation, and this new generation, they are not hypocritical, and they should not be listening to this nonsense.
A lot of you run up your husband's houses. What's the excuse? He was cheating on me. Solomon had, I think, 1,000 wives, 700 concubines. If you say that your husband is cheating on you and now decides to take many more wives, what are you going to do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you think that your husband leaves the house, says it's going on tour, and he's going to have an affair outside, put a packet of condom into his bag Tell him you have packed his bag for him. When he sees it, psychologically, he's going to think, this woman has my interest at heart. If it is his intention to stray, he will pull himself together. But because that you women are not even creative, no. You want to be like white women who keep marrying and divorcing and marrying. It doesn't suit us. It doesn't go down well with us. No. My mother was not educated. She was not in love with my father. No. My father was almost 40 when his uncle said, Onyenkuzi, it is time you got married. Beautiful, you're a very tall, handsome man. You're a wrestler. You're a teacher. You're everything. And he said, okay. Go and marry for me. Any woman you bring is okay by me. And my uncle went off to a neighboring village. Said, look, Onyenkuzi wants to get married. And the women came out. And he just looked around and said, you, dear, you are going to be this man's wife. And that's it. And they brought this 15-year-old girl home. She didn't have the courage to look at my... No. She couldn't look my father in the face. She was all the time bending down. Yeah. She was crouching. She was shy and all that. She remained shy. And he gave him 10 children. She was still shy. 7 boys. 3 girls. He was still shy. And my mother was telling me, she said, look, my mother was not educated. She was not in love with my father. No. My father was almost 40 when his uncle said, Onyenkuzi, it is time you got married. Beautiful, you're a very tall, handsome man. You're a wrestler. You're a teacher. You're everything. And he said, okay. Go and marry for me. Any woman you bring is okay by me.